You look in the mirror immediately after a workout and you look incredible. Your shirt feels tight, your veins are popping, and you feel huge. But then you wake up the next morning and that size is gone. You feel flat. Why? Because you have been chasing the pump, and physiologically speaking, you might be renting that muscle size rather than owning it. It is time to stop training for inflammation and start training for tissue. Welcome to Levitas. I want to ask you a question, and I want you to be honest with me in the comments below. When you are in the gym, do you stop your set because you hit a specific number of reps? Or do you stop because you feel that intense burn in the muscle? Let me know down there. And while you're at it, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel with the algorithm. Let's get straight into the physiology facts. In the medical and sports science world, we often discuss two primary types of muscle growth: Sarcoplasmic Hypertrophy and Myofibrillar Hypertrophy. If you don't understand where the difference is, then you will spend years in the gym spinning your wheels. Think of your muscle fiber like a tube. Inside that tube, you have the actual cables that pull and contract. These are called the myofibrils. But surrounding those cables, there is a jelly-like fluid called sarcoplasm. This fluid is filled with glycogen. These are stored carbs, water, and organelles. Here is the main distinction. Myofibrillar hypertrophy is an increase in the size and density of the actual cables. This is dense actual muscle. It makes you significantly stronger. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, on the other hand, is an increase in the volume of the fluid around the cables. This makes the muscle look puffy and larger, but it doesn't necessarily make it much stronger. A fascinating paper by Haun in 2019 actually looked deep into this, challenging us to see that while these two often happen together, high-volume training tends to expand that fluid space much more than heavy training does. This brings us to the deceiving pump lie. When you do 20 or 25 reps with a light weight, and your muscle feels like it is going to explode, you aren't necessarily stimulating the fibers to grow thicker. You are creating a metabolic stress. You are trapping blood in the muscle and accumulating metabolites like lactate and hydrogen ions. Your body responds by rushing fluid into the cell to manage that chemical stress. That is what the pump is. It feels like growth, but medically speaking, it is essentially transient edema, also known as swelling. And here is the heartbreaking reality for many gym goers. This fluid deflates, fiber does not. If your training relies 100% on the burn, you are essentially just inflating a balloon every day and watching it deflate every night. To build permanent muscle, the kind that improves your metabolism, supports your joints, and fights aging, we need to talk about the king of muscle growth, mechanical tension. A landmark review by Dr. Brad Schoenfeld in 2010 identified 3 mechanisms for growth, but mechanical tension is the primary driver. This happens when the actual fibers effectively grapple with a heavy load through a full range of motion. Think of it this way. That burning sensation tells you that your energy systems are tired, and tension tells your body that the structural integrity of the muscle isn't strong enough to survive, so it must build more protein to survive the next bout. That is the signal we want for gains. Now, this leads to one of the most controversial topics in the gym. It's the rest periods. How often have you heard, "Don't rest too long or you'll lose the pump"? I am here to tell you, if you want to build tissue, losing the pump is fine. In fact, resting longer might be scientifically superior than short resting periods. In 2016, Schoenfeld and colleagues published a study comparing people who rested 1 minute versus people who rested 3 minutes between sets. The bro science suggests the 1-minute group should have grown more because they had more pump and more metabolic stress. But the results were really shocking. The group that rested 3 minutes built significantly more muscle and strength compared to the other subjects. But why is this? It comes down to a molecule called ATP, the famous adenosine triphosphate. This is your muscle's fuel. When you lift heavy, you deplete your ATP. It takes about 3 minutes for your body to fully replenish those stores. If you only rest 1 minute, you go into your next set with half a tank of gas. You might feel the burn, but the mechanical tension, the actual weight you can handle, drops significantly. You are working hard, but your fibers aren't receiving a strong enough signal to thicken. So this means you are chasing fatigue, not performance. This explains the famous paradox. How can a bodybuilder look so much bigger than a powerlifter, but the powerlifter is stronger? The bodybuilder has maximized sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. They have optimized the energy storage and fluid volume within the cell. They are like a sports car with a massive fuel tank. The powerlifter has maximized myofibrillar hypertrophy. They have packed more contractile proteins into the same space. In other words, they have a bigger engine. Now, I don't want you to think sarcoplasmic training is bad because it really isn't. Increasing your glycogen storage is great for endurance and insulin sensitivity. However, for the average person looking to improve their body composition and health, you need a foundation of myofibrillar density first. So, what is the prescription? How do we apply this to your life so you stop wasting time? Step number 1, you need to prioritize mechanical tension. Start your workouts with compound movements like squats, presses, rows, in the 5 to 8 rep range. This ensures you are targeting the myofibrils. Rest at least 2 to 3 minutes here. Do not worry about the pump. You need to worry about adding weight to the bar over time. This is called progressive overload. Step number 2, use metabolic stress as the finisher. Once you have done your heavy mechanical work, the compound movements, then you can chase the pump. Move to lighter weights, higher reps that range from 12 to 20, and shorter rest periods. This fills the cell with fluid and nutrients, which aids in recovery and gives you that visual fullness you enjoy. The pump. If you flip this order, or if you only do the pump work, you are building a house on a foundation of sand. The fluid will come and go. But the myofibrillar tissue? That stays with you. That is the tissue that keeps your metabolism high as you age. That is the tissue that prevents frailty and keeps you healthier. Here is the doctor's verdict. The famous pump is a wonderful feeling. It boosts your confidence and it does signal that you've worked hard. But do not confuse inflammation with muscle construction. The real muscle growth requires patience. It requires resting long enough to perform your best. And it requires the humility to realize that feeling the burn is not the same as getting better or real growing muscle. I want you to build a body that serves your health. A body that is strong, resilient, and capable, not just one that looks swollen for an hour after the gym. Focus on the weights, focus on your form, and eat properly to fuel that muscle recovery. This is the real secret of building a real muscular physique that also strengthens your health. Watch this video suggestion. It was especially picked for you. Also share, comment, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. It helps a ton with the algorithm. Remain tuned for future videos to empower your health and fitness journey. So, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep going.